Hello again. As promised, this is a separate video focusing specifically on MLA citations. For your discussion board post, I ask that you include a citation at the end of the post. It doesn't have to be a formal works cited page, but it does need to be the citation as it would appear on a works cited page. Many of you are doing that right, but some of you are still not, so I wanted to go over that to ensure that you don't lose a lot of points on future essays. So in the beginning of the class, we were dealing with, you might have been using the PDFs that I posted. You might not have had the textbook yet, but by now everybody should be citing from the textbook. If you're not and you don't have the textbook, reach out to me immediately because that is a big, big problem. So here on our Canvas page, you're going to go to Modules. And once you click on that, like I said, I'm going to show you where you can find information on how to cite your sources. In our textbook, you can find all this information around page 214, but if you want to use an online source, click here on MLA format, and you'll see you have a whole list of sources from PowerPoints to different websites. These three PowerPoints right here walk you through the basics of how to set up your page, how to set up in-text citations, and then how to set up your works cited page. I highly recommend you watch those before you turn in any of your essays, or I should say any future essays. I'm going to go to this one, the Purdue OWL. This is a very comprehensive site. You should be able to find just about any information you're looking for MLA work. We're going to scroll here and you'll see formatting and style guide. You can click it here or over here. I use the table of contents over here. MLA formatting and style guide. Scroll down to what you're looking for. With MLA, I certainly don't expect you to memorize all of it. It's a lot of information. What I do expect is that you know how to find it. So we're going to scroll down. We're dealing with our textbook, which is an anthology. And within that anthology are works, and that is what we're citing, a work in an anthology, or multiple works in an anthology. So an anthology is a book. We'll click on that. Yeah, you can use the generator here if you want, but I want to focus on looking at the instructions. You'll notice that there's kind of the basic for the book, and then depending on the type of book that you're using, it builds off of that. We're going to scroll down, keep scrolling until we get to keep in mind edition of a book, because we are dealing with a book that has multiple editions. And we are specifically dealing with an anthology or a collection, sometimes referred to as a container. So this is what it would look like if you were citing the entire anthology. It's the editors, you always use the editors who are listed on the front of our textbook. So for us, I have the textbook right here. So for us, if you can see, that's these two guys right here, John Schlib and John Clifford. Always use the order in which they're listed on the book too. It matters. So a work in an anthology. If you're just doing one work in an anthology, this is what your citation will look like. The author of the individual work. So let's say we'll use the yellow wallpaper. It would be Perkins Gilman, comma, Charlotte, period. And then it would be in quotation marks, the yellow wallpaper. Make sure that period stays inside the quotation marks. Then Making Literature Matter, an anthology for readers and writers, would be italicized. You would have a comma. Then you would have edited by, and the editors, of course, John Schlib and John Clifford. You put their first name and then last name. The only time you invert that is if it's at the very beginning. Then the publisher, for this case, it's Bedford St. Martin's, the year in which it was published, which I believe ours is 2018, and then the pages that work appears on. And offhand, I don't remember, it's 200 and something. Okay? Very easy. Now, if you are doing multiple works in an anthology, you'll see there's a little note here. If you cite more than one essay from the same edited collection or more than one story, then you'll cross-reference. And so what you do is you write out the citation for the anthology. So in our case, again, it would be, you would have Schlib, comma, John, and then John Clifford, comma, editors. the title of our anthology, Making Literature Matter, period. And then after that, you would have the edition. You want to have the edition. Scroll up here. Remember I said to get that edition, and where do you put it? Right after the title. So for us, it's 7th edition. Let me come back down here. Where did we go? There we are. 7th edition. And then this is the publisher, for our case again, Bedford St. Martin's, comma, 2018, period. Then, for each individual story or poem or essay, you'll list the author's name of the work. So I'll use, again, it would be Charlotte Perkins Gilman. You would have Perkins Gilman, comma, Charlotte, the title, yellow wallpaper, period. Then you don't list the anthology again. It would be Schlib and Clifford, comma, and the pages that it appears on. And one last note, always alphabetical, right? So you don't think you have to put the anthology first, whatever comes first. So in this case, Perkins Gilman would be the first citation, and then Schlib and Clifford. So I hope I wasn't talking too fast. Like I said, that's just a general overview of the basic format for citing multiple works in an anthology. But again, each type of source has its own way of being cited. When you get to essay 2 and further essays, you are going to have to use outside sources, and you have to use, the sources have to come from our library database. And so that has a very specific way of being cited as well. I'll make a separate video for that one. If you have any questions, of course, reach out and let me know. Otherwise, thank you for listening, and hopefully I won't see any more errors in MLA format.